Each person is different from the other. Since our childhood, we develop some skills and quirks that make us unique. As Coco Chanel once said, in order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. Some children around the world were born with unusual characteristics. Every day, these children need to cross the barrier of prejudice and face numerous adversities. I am Samar Bakri, and you are very welcome to Mega Fact. In today's video, we made a list of the 12 children that you will never imagine that they exist. Before we start, give us your mega like, join the channel, and activate the bell so you won't miss the next video. Bayezid Hossein. We start the video today with a very unique case. Bayezid Hossein is only 4 years, but his appearance is of an 80-year-old man. The boy was born in southern Bangladesh with a rare condition that causes him to suffer from joint pain and skin sagging. Bayezid suffers from a disease called progeria. This disease has an effect that induces the boy's body to age up to 8 times faster. When he was born, the doctors didn't know how to treat the child and therefore claimed that there was nothing they could do to reverse the child's situation. Despite of the fact that the boy doesn't go to school, Bayezid has an intelligence above average for his age. The boy started in the beginning to go to some classes, but he had difficulties socializing and the other kids were afraid of him. Unfortunately, patients with this disease do not have a very high life expectancy, and usually they die at the age of 13 by heart attack or strokes. The cure for progeria has not yet been found. Virsavia Borun. We leave Bangladesh and we go to Russia, where a girl lives with her heart almost out of her body. According to doctors, Virsavia Borun was born with a rare congenital syndrome that affects only one person every 1 million. The syndrome is called Pentalogy-Cantrell. This syndrome is the girl's heart beating out of her chest. The heart of Virsavia is protected by only a thin layer of skin, and this is because her body is missing a piece of the chest bone. Normally, this problem is quickly identified when the kid is still a baby, and most of the time, there is the possibility of surgery to correct the problem, but this operation is too risky and the mother preferred to avoid it. Among all the cares that Borun needs to take daily, wearing soft clothes is one of them. When she goes to play with other children, she must avoid to the maximum any type of friction amongst her chest. Virsavia's uniqueness made her famous in all the social networks and she became a hit herself. Now, with 12 years old, the girl lives life as normally as possible. She decided to follow her mother's path and became a professional model. Together, mother and daughter have already reached more than 100,000 of followers on Instagram. Alexandra Siang. With only 9, a girl from the Philippines named Alexandra Siang began to gain notoriety after the photos that went viral on the internet. The reason? The girl had a child's face, but the body of the old woman. For this peculiarity, Alexandra did become famous worldwide. The condition of Alexandra Siang is called precocious puberty, which caused the girl develop breasts and other parts of the body much earlier than expected. But not everything developed so fast, and Alexandra's face is still consistent with her age. Alexandra took advantage of the fame, and now she has more than 100,000 followers on TikTok. Yom Young Shin. Ever wondered if you could be young forever and never grow old? Surely this is the desire of thousands of people. Tell me, how old is this kid? 10 years? 11 years? Maybe 12? Write your guess in the comments. Well, believe it or not, this boy is actually a 30-year-old man. Hyum Young Shin is a Korean who became known after appearing on a Chinese television program and drew attention because he didn't grow old at all. He was born on January 5th of 1989, and he only realized that his body wasn't developing at 18. According to him, all his childhood friends had already a developed body, but his body had stopped in time. According to specialists, the case of Hyun Chin is not as complex as it seems, and is summarized in the absence of the growth hormones. Even with the possibility of a treatment, the man seems happy with his body and doesn't intend to change. Rahma Haruna. This girl was born in India, and up to her 6 months of age, she was completely healthy. In a short time, the girl began to suffer from joint pain and started to have difficulties to move. Months later, the body of Rahma lost completely her leg movement. The poor family conditions prevented the girl to get a treatment, and to transport the girl Rahma easily, the family decided to put her in a plastic basket, where she spends several hours of her day. Not even one professional Indian doctor managed to diagnose her and treat the girl, and unfortunately, she ended up passing away at the age of 19 in 2016. Yoga Amatha. Another child in India is drawing attention because of a rather questionable ability. Yoga Amatha is 9 years and became famous in her country after participating in a television program where she showed that she could see with her eyes covered. In a test, they put 3 bands to cover the girl's eye. The goal was to make the girl read what was written on a paper, and she could read it without difficulty. The explanation that many Indians were giving is that she has superpower, or that the girl has a 3rd active eye, and therefore she can see even with the 2 main eyes covered. How does she do this mystery is still unknown, and it's not in our merit to question the veracity of the girl's powers. This because the Indians really believe she has that ability. But what about you? What do you think about this story? Tell us your thought and let us your mega like, huh? Tilly Lucky. From India, let's go to England, where a 12-year-old is known as the Bionic Girl. Tilly Lucky had parts of her body affected by meningitis. With only 15 months of life, the doctors said that the girl won't pass the 2 years. Fortunately, and despite of all predictions, Tilly survived the disease, but her hands had to be removed because they had been taken by an ulcer. Years later, a 3D printing company was looking for volunteers to test their prostheses for upper body parts, and Tilly was the first to try them. The prosthesis has a bionic hand that responds to movements of the muscles that remained. Thanks to the prosthesis, Tilly Lucky can lead a life as normal as possible. She says she loves being called the Bionic Girl. Tio Satrio. This boy lives in Indonesia and was born without arms and legs, but that doesn't prevent him to do most of the things that kids with his age do. The lack of arms and legs limits Tio in many tasks such as to move, to eat, and to perform other daily activities. But he does not give up on doing what he loves. The boy is in love with games, and he succeeded in developing a technique to play without hands, with the help of his chin and shoulders. Tio can fully manipulate the control of his PlayStation 2. This kid is a true example to be followed. Luis Esquivel. From Indonesia, let's move to the United States, where a little boy with only 5 years has gained notoriety because of his intelligence. Luis Esquivel is considered a genius, and you will see why. In a matter of seconds, the boy can perform complex calculations that any of us need a calculator to do them. At 2 years old, Esquivel knew the whole alphabet forward and backward, and was able to perform basic calculations. Now, with 5 years old, the boy has a channel here on YouTube where he gives math classes for adults. In his class, he teaches subjects like binary operations, Pythagoras theorem, and equations of first and second degree. The kid is a real genius. Michelle Kish. This woman was born in the United States and despite the appearance of a child, she is 20 years old. Michelle Kish has a rare disease called the Hallermann-Streiff syndrome. This disease makes women have the appearance and the size of a child. Despite of all, Michelle hasn't given up on her childhood dream, and it is studying medicine. The cure for this syndrome hasn't yet been found. Tessa Evans. Have you ever wondered how it would be if you were born without a nose? That is what happened to a little girl in the United States called Tessa Evans. Tessa was born with congenital complete arynia, and just to give you an idea, this disease is so rare that only affects 1 in 197 million people. To solve the girl's problem, doctors did a surgery to implant a small prosthesis generated by a 3D printer. The surgery was a success, but the girl will have to undergo further surgeries every 2 years, since the prosthesis needs to be adapted as the girl grows up. So, this is it, guys. Let us know in the comments which case most caught your attention. And do not forget the mega like, because it took us some time to prepare it for you. See you next week and see you later.